We do have our very own Tim Knight on the line. I'm very intrigued to see what he has to say about Micron and the rest of the products. Tim, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. Kind of watching the wiggles and woggles. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. It's looks like a seismograph. Nothing really. There's a lot going on, and there's nothing going on at the same time. So I guess the proverbial all smoke, no fire happening, at least from what I can tell. I did pull together a few charts I found a little interesting on this very early morning. You mind if I thumb through those?
Let's do it.
Okay. In no particular order, although I've grouped these a little bit. Gold is still weak, down almost $100 on this. And I don't think it's going to be rallying anytime soon. I had sort of thought it would get down to 4,000, which we're just about there. But looking at a little longer term, I think maybe it could just keep slipping away to like 3,500 or so. So this is looking still real weak. That's a nice clean pattern. It really put the kibosh on what had been it's just a splendid bull market in here, just a steady series of higher lows, higher highs, chuggity, chuggity, chugging. It reached sort of its climax here, and then just got this kind of violent breakdown. So that's churning away, and obviously GLD, kind of the same setup. We've got that lovely little right triangle, and we had our kind of last gasp at a recovery the week prior. And we've been tumbling away since then. And in turn, the miners, they're off their lows this morning, but these are breaking down as well. I don't, the only positions I've got metals related are I'm still short EQX, which is Equinox gold miner, and also XME, which is not just precious, but metals and mining in general. And as I've shown our viewers in the past, the ratio chart of XME versus GDX is really this cool cycle over the years, and it suggests that XME is going to vastly underperform XME will underperform GDX for a long time to come. So if you're dying to be short miners, I think XME is the better way to go. And naturally, Dust, the ultra short on this, has had a really good 6 or 7 days. Turning our attention to things more digital, this was kind of relief for me because I am short Bitcoin, and we were rallying last night, and for reasons that don't really matter, but I am kind of curious, about half an hour ago, it gave up any wisp of strength, and we're down on Bitcoin quadruple digits. And the key here would be very beneficial to the one or two bears out there is a failure of that psychologically crucial $60,000 level sometime in the days ahead, because as we talked about yesterday, this is a long-term, really bearish-looking pattern. In fact, let's just look a little more long-term. We could drag that horizontal down like so, and you can see the massive overhead supply, and we're sort of teetering at that approximately, let's just bet on the button, $60,000 level. Failing that would be a big deal. So I'm short this by way of being long BITI. And as far as MSTR goes, MicroStrategy, clearly also doing quite poorly. And this is a funny one because it's basically just a Bitcoin holding company. That's all it is. But it seems to have exaggerated. It almost performs like a leverage instrument because Bitcoin's not down 5.25%, but MSTR is. So this is really getting walloped. I haven't looked at STRC lately, which is Saylor's kind of high yield instrument to get cash to buy this stuff. But what the heck? I'll take a peek. I honestly don't know what it's doing. This is like the 11.5% dividend issue. Okay, we got some old data there. Nice. All right, there we go. Down about 2.4%.
I remember hearing about this before.
So yeah.
Explain what this is again.
This, I don't know the exact mechanics of this, but it ostensibly, it was offered as a Saylor in an interview actually said he had ChatGPT design it for him. He had this conversation with ChatGPT about designing a financial instrument that's never been done before, and maybe this is why. But the thumbnail, I understand, you can hear the huge asterisk I'm making next to my sentence, is that this would throw off a dividend of 11.5%, which is a very handsome return, of course, in a risk-free environment, risk-free instrument, which this clearly is not. And those proceeds would be used to fund the acquisition of Bitcoin for its treasury holdings for MSTR. And for a while, as you can see, this was about as exciting as a passbook savings account. It was basically like a $100 instrument that threw off 11.5%. Yay. As you can see, there have been some doubts lately about is this going to survive or not. So it's nice that you had 11.5%, but it doesn't help if your capital crashes 16%. You know, you sort of, I think that wipes it out. So yeah, that's STRC. I think stretch is sort of vernacular for that. So anyway, let's see what else is cooking. Why do I have to? Oh yeah, a couple of shorts I still like. Well, I got 30 positions. I like a lot of shorts. A couple that are just wanted to mention is a Vishay VSH. Another nice day here, 4% drop on this. And this is one of those bottle rockets that is really seems to have reached its apex and starting to yield to gravity. And then Western Digital, another storage firm here, WDC, down a little more than 3%. And our old favorite, the North Star, our perpetual standby, SMH, down, which is interesting because yesterday was a real wallop for South Korea, for SMH, down 10, 11% for South Korea. So you would figure today would be recovery day, you know, kind of maybe climb your way back to the gap or something. It's doing no such thing. It's not like yesterday, but I'll happily take any red number. This is down another 0.5%. So this is a positive for the bears out there. You mentioned Micron earlier. There's all these crazy high flyers, some of which still seem to have their mojo, but more and more they're starting to really show their age. You know, you can't always sustain 500, 600, 700% gains in a few months and not suffer. Another item which leaped out is CBRS. Before SpaceX was coming out, I would bring this up as an example of, like, you know, the old saw, but IPO stands for it's probably overpriced. And CBRS kind of proved that as an example. It's at a new lifetime low now. They came out at a very propitious time since they're, you know, semiconductor / memory related. But it's been a dreadful stock, and I just think that since we have like 8 days of data for SpaceX to look at, it's eye-opening to see, you know, this is how these kinds of things can go. It just kind of grind lower. Meta was like this. Meta was a dreadful stock for months and months until it kind of steadied itself. But as far as SPCX goes, steadying, you know, kind of stable around 150-ish. So the terror that had gone on for these 3 days is abated for now. And just a couple last ones. InQ is basically unchanged at the moment. It's hanging around yesterday's lows. I guess everybody's waiting to see what's next. Tomorrow is kind of the one and only data point that we've got this week. I think it's the PCE. Yeah, so that's the only economic data point of note. Maybe that'll shake things up one way or the other. And finally, a real favorite in my short positions right now, another former high flyer, AXT, which is the symbol AXTI. This is down today almost 11%, and more importantly, a nice failure of that topping pattern that you see right there. So that's sadly my tiniest position, but I'll probably add to that. That's a real honey of a chart right there.
That's kind of like a head and shoulders, right?
You know what? I don't know if this is a pattern, but I'd call it kind of an inverted cup with handle. I'm a bit of a purist about patterns, and that's kind of what I see. Okay. So we'll just say that exists as an inverted cup with handle. There you go.
Yeah, true. I can see that. I've actually never looked at anything like an inverted cup with handle, but yeah.
With no more bull in it left.
None at all.
Cup is upside down.
I mean, it might retrace. it might clamber its way back to its range, but no, I think that's a dead duck.
The cup has runneth empty.
Yeah. What do you think about what do you think about Micron ahead of earnings today?
Well, that's cool that they're having earnings. That'll help inform semiconductors in general. I haven't peeked at the chart, but let's take a look. Well, all I can say is that from a charting perspective, This is what we call, let me find the right tool here, a island reversal gap. And, provided it stays below that price line, it's that's a pretty serious setup for reversal. So I don't think I have Micron anymore, but I will put forth the dumb guess that this is going to go down tomorrow. I think it's going to tumble away after earnings.
That's fair. Yeah, I think we all agree it'll be inside the implied move of 140 points. I think it's going to have a tough time ripping higher, all things considered, considering it's already up 300% this year. So we'll see. But thank you very much, Tim. Appreciate you, and we'll see you later.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Later.